Josh Kettler woke up one morning and said, I'm not putting up with any more of this crap, and walked out on Harry and Meghan Markle. Oh, yes, I remember the big, grandiose, announcements that Josh Kettler was going to be guiding Harry. Because keep in mind that he was working supposedly for Harry, not for the skank, but for Harry. Okay? But Meghan Markle has been firing every single member of staff that dares oppose her or call her out. And her thieving, her skankiness, her abuse, and her bullying. And, there's nothing worse than a bully who pretends to be a martyr. So let's get into what's really happening at that really horrible thing right before they go to Colombia, if they end up going to Colombia, because that's still a big if. I am repairing Siri's bed. Don't you love these old machines? Here I am at the market. Josh Kettler, the chief of staff. Yes, you heard me right, because Harry and Meghan Markle think of themselves as presidents or actual royalty, because chief of staff is for the president, for the queen, for a senior royal, for some stuff like that. So they give this pompous job titles to people. So Josh Kettler walked out on Harry and Meghan, and the only reason we're finding out about it right now is because the press leaked it. But he quit apparently almost after that Nigeria disastrous tour. Because the craziness of everything that's going on, the bullying that he endured, because Harry and Meghan don't listen to anybody. There's nothing worse than absolutely two imbeciles with the lowest possible of IQ who are arrogant, entitled, and who have a huge platform and are indulged on every whim and never held accountable. That's what happens when you go work for them. And you know what's interesting is that some people on the staff, people who've been working, a member of staff leaked that even though this position is now empty, because he walked out on Harry and Meghan. He walked out. He got up one day and said, I've had enough of this crap. I'm not doing this anymore. That's what Josh Kettler did. Prince Harry wants to elevate his skanky wife, Meghan Markle, to what he believes should be her station in life. What you're watching right now shows you where he plucked that little flower from. From the gutter. This woman has seen more mattress she has couch casted in Hollywood for so many people. I mean, this is a joke. We know that Harry doesn't want to admit that he married a hoe and that he was played. He was played by a hoe. By a low IQ hoe. Okay? So we have now Dominic Reed, Bill Cooper, Peter Lawless, arguably one of the most respected Olympic and Paralympic administrators in Canada. Bill, and he was decorated by the Queen, by the way. So Bill Cooper and Peter Lawless were fired by Rachel Meghan Markle, by nobody else. If anybody tells you that the board of directors decided at the Invictus Games in Canada decided to fire these people, they're lying. Rachel Meghan Markle, especially Bill Cooper, because Bill Cooper was the chief commercial officer, so he knew all the shenanigans that Harry and Meghan were up to. He told them, you're already over budget from the $30 million that Canada gave him. Meghan Markle cannot be using Invictus money. You cannot be assigning Invictus money for your travels, for private planes, and for your security, because this is for the veterans, supposedly. So they were fired. Dominic Reed had enough, and he also walked out. When you see that suddenly it's like, oh, mutual. And now, of course, we have People Magazine, because People Magazine is this, like the mouthpiece of Harry and Meghan Markle, saying, oh my God. I mean, it's mutual agreement because it was on a trial basis. No, I remember back in May, they said that he was the perfect fit to guide Harry, not Meghan Markle. But of course, Mr. Kettler, who's a professional. These are people that are not from the street. These are not people that you hire at McDonald's to flip burgers. These are incredible professionals that are used to working in high demand environments, who are overly qualified, who are incredibly qualified, who are, as I said, are used to working with real VIPs, not the likes of a skank mattress actress, unemployed, untalented person like Meghan Markle and Harry the idiot. These are real professionals. So he didn't last 3 months because he is advising, and he is fed up because Meghan Markle was not invited by Francia Marquez, who's another situation there. Meghan Markle keeps inviting herself to create all these things, and people around them is telling him, you can't do that. Let's not forget what Jason Kanoff said. The Duchess has managed to bully 2 PAs out of their positions and has her eyes set on a third one. And I'm worried that nothing will be done. And he was right. Because what was done? Prince William separated the offices, but he didn't say, you know what? You can't keep treating people like that. HR was informed that these 2 bullies, because it's Harry and Meghan, are attacking these professionals. Samantha Cohen. These people have been working with like proper A-listers and high, as I repeat myself, high demand environments. And Mr. Kettler doesn't want to attach his name to the long list of people who want to be associated with these 2 idiots. But unfortunately, he is. So there are 28 people, or 29 now with Mr. Kettler, who have been fired or left since Harry and Meghan Markle got married. 28 people. And they make these big announcements, and they give this huge grandiose titles. Chief of Staff. Chief of Staff is for the president or for the queen, but not for 2 losers like that. Oh, the Chief of Staff. And they make all these announcements, and then they have to quietly let go of the people. Why don't they just hire people without having to make announcements? I don't get that. Why do they have to make these big announcements? Now, the Colombia trip is still not sure. People are saying that they're flying out this Thursday. In Colombia, there's no announcement. And according to the Colombians, this is supposed to happen in November. So what are they going to do now? I wonder if they're going to use that as an excuse for not traveling, because Colombia has asked them to please withdraw, not to go to Colombia, because they're not willing to meet all the demands that Meghan Markle has placed. And because, of course, Harry wants to elevate his skanky wife, the woman he plucked from a mattress somewhere in Hollywood, who was unemployed, who never owned a house or even a car before she hit it big time in the royal family. But he wants to elevate her. This reminds me a lot like that divorcee, Wallis Simpson, and the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. So Harry wants to elevate his skanky wife, and he's allowing Meghan to fire everybody, because people are being fired right, left, and center, and the ones that are not fired simply quit. But can you imagine the goal of firing Mr. Peter Lawless, one of the most distinguished administrators in Canada, who has huge experience working for Paralympics and Olympics as administrator, or Mr. Bill, and he was decorated by the Queen. I think he got a Diamond Jubilee or something like that. And Mr. Bill Cooper, who is also highly respected. Dominic Reed, who also walked out. At some point, people have to start asking, you may have 1 or 2 bad apples who quit on you, but when so many employees are quitting or walking out on you, or you're firing them because they don't comply to your needs. And Meghan Markle was so nasty and vindictive that she wanted people to know that Mr. Peter Lawless and Bill Cooper were fired. She wanted people to know that. Dominic Reed, they had to go slowly and easy on him because he knows where the bodies are buried and he has too many connections. But whoever they can trample on, they do, because Meghan Markle thought these 2 idiots are Canadian. They're not worth anything. They're not connected to the royal family. So she fired them. This skanky woman fired them. It's going to be interesting because they're supposed to be in Colombia on Thursday, and I haven't heard anything about. I haven't heard anything because the vice president of Colombia said that they're supposed to be there the first days of November, but the press is saying the day after tomorrow for a music festival. I thought it was about cyberbullying somebody, but I could be wrong. So another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And there's nobody to replace them, just like nobody can replace Dominic Reed because he walked out on them. They've had enough. They've had enough. And they look at Harry and Meghan, two idiots. And they decide, there's nothing worse than having two imbeciles with very low IQ who are entitled with a huge platform and who are indulged to continue behaving that way because they're never held accountable. So these high professionals, these incredible professional people say, I'm not going to put up with this crap. And I'm not going to be treated like that by the likes of Harry and Meghan Markle. So I think that the house of cards of Harry and Meghan Markle is falling apart. And I think that if they still go ahead with this Colombian thing, this is going to be the final nail in the coffin because the Colombian people don't want them there. As usual, give me your thoughts and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.